Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss Standard 10's Political Science lesson number 1, that is working of the Constitution. Now the first question arises, that is, what is Constitution? So let me show you a copy of the Constitution. This is the Constitution of India. Now after independence, a constitutional committee had been formed and Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president of the constitutional committee, as well as Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was the head of the drafting committee. Previously we were following rules and regulations of the British government, but they were not suitable after the independence. So the Indian government decided to form a new constitution for free India. Now this constitution came into existence on 26th of January 1950, as we know. Now what is there in the constitution? What does it contain? Okay, so just I am going to tell you some of the important points. First of all, constitution tells us about the governing structure of a particular nation, as well as it tells us about the basic rights of the citizens of the country. It also describes the judiciary also. This is my request to every one of us, or every one of you, to go through the constitution. A copy of the constitution is available everywhere. So if you go through the constitution, you will get better idea of it. Because I am not going to take more time, going through the constitution, it may take a lot of time. But in this chapter we are going to discuss about democracy, social justice and judicial system of our nation. Now first of all, when we discuss democracy, the very first point is political maturity. Political maturity in the sense, at what age a citizen should be given right to elect his or her representative. Now in our country, previously a citizen above 21 years of age had the authority to elect his representative or to vote, but later on this age limit was brought down, and now a citizen, male or female, above 18 years of age has the right to elect his or her representative or to vote. Now we are going to discuss about decentralization of democracy. See, India is a secular democratic republic, as it has been described in the constitution. Now secular in the sense, all the religions or the people belonging to different religions in this country, all of them are equal, means no religion or no individual belonging to any particular religion is superior or inferior, and we are a democratic republic. Now democratic republic in the sense, we have different states existing in our country, as well as there is a central government also. So a particular citizen above 18 years of age can vote for the central government also, as well as for the state government, and there are local governments also, or Panchayat Raj also. For example, in rural areas there is Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, or Panchayat Samiti, Jilla Parishad. So this is called Panchayat Raj. Now for Panchayat Raj also a citizen can vote. So we can vote for different governing bodies, and this is called the decentralization of the power. Now one more thing is, by the 73rd and 74th amendment to the Indian Constitution, the local governments or the local governing bodies have been given special rights or special powers. Now we are going to discuss about right to information. What is right to information? Right to information came into existence in 2005 And as per this right, a citizen can know about any government decision or any expenditure, any expenses made by the government. We can know about the details. We have the right. Previously, all these things uh, were kept uh, confidential, means they were not publicly exposed. But now we have the right to know about the decisions made by the government, the reasons behind, as well as the expenses made by the government. Social justice and equality. Now, the Constitution tries to bring social justice and equality, and due to the same, no person uh, is considered superior or inferior on the basis of his religion, his caste, his creed, his language, or the region he belongs to. Okay. As well as one more thing is, the government has the policy to reserve to make reservations for the people belonging to backward classes. There are, as we know, there are uh, scheduled tribes and scheduled castes, and the people belonging to these categories have been given reservations in the jobs, as well as they have been given concessions in the education also. Now, why this has been made? Because some of the people belonging to some particular castes, okay, they were not given equal treatment, okay, and that is why they remained behind the rest of the society. So special concessions or reservations have been offered to the people belonging to these castes and creeds, so that they can cope up their standard. Now, one more authority that has been given to the scheduled castes and tribes, uh, that is prevention of atrocity. Prevention of atrocity. Atrocity Act has brought into existence, and as per the Atrocity Act, if a person has been insulted on the basis of his caste, okay, or if someone is considered inferior on the basis of his caste, okay, he is liable for punishment. One more thing is, different provisions have been made for the minorities by the government, as I told you, and that is to the people as I told you, India is a secular democratic republic. So here all the religions, secular in the sense all the religions are equal, and in this way all the religions, people belonging to different religions, castes and creeds, all are equal, and they can enjoy equal benefits. So on this basis, the government has tried to bring equality among the people living in this nation. Now, one more provision made by the government is for the women, because as we have seen in the history, women were given inferior treatment, as well as they were not allowed to be educated. So the government has given them, or given women equal rights, as well as they have been given some certain protection also. For example, some certain rights also have been given. One of the examples is equal share in the property of father or husband. Okay. Then Dowry Prohibition Act is made. Domestic Violence Act is there. So in this way, the Constitution sees that there should not be injustice with the women of this country. Now, as well as I told you, as per the 73rd and 74th amendment to the Constitution, some this constitutional importance was given to the local governing bodies. With the same amendment, 33% or 33% of seats in these governing bodies, elections of these governing bodies have been reserved for women, and Maharashtra is a state that has given 50% of reservation to the women in local governing bodies. Now, what is the role of the judiciary? We have to discuss about. As we are discussing about the constitution, we saw that constitution means the governing structure of a particular nation. The constitution means basic rights given to the people, as well as constitution means judiciary, because if these basic rights have not been protected, then those rights have no value, no importance. So we have judiciary system also, and what is the important role of the judiciary? The important role of the judiciary, the most important role is to see that the basic framework of the constitution should not be disturbed, as well as to see that the people can enjoy freedom. Their basic rights should not be disturbed. So this is the responsibility of the constitution, and on the basis of this, the court has given different judgments, as we see. For example, protection of human rights, protection of honor and dignity. So some of all these decisions made by the even protection of individual freedom. So this shows the way judiciary works to protect the basic rights of the people, and to protect even the constitution also, by seeing that the basic framework of the constitution should not disturb, because the legislative has the authority to bring changes, amendments, to make amendments to the constitution, but it is the responsibility of the judiciary to see that these amendments are not bringing any problem to the basic structure of the nation, basic structure of the constitution. So this way, today we discussed about Indian constitution, and in the next chapter we are going to discuss about the electoral process of our country. Thank you very much.